Top 10 Renewable Energy-Leading Countries. First is Norway. As of 2022, 98% of electricity production came from renewables, with hydropower leading the charge. They've been harnessing power from rivers and waterfalls since the late 1800s. So it's easy to see how this natural resource has been a critical part of Norway's power profile. Over the years, they've also added geothermal and wind energy to the mix. Second is New Zealand. 84% of its electricity currently comes from renewables. Hydro, geothermal, wind and bioenergy are used to produce electricity. Their renewable sector is strong and independent of government subsidies, making it an economic win too. Third is Morocco. As of 2022, renewable energy covered 35% of the country's electricity needs. It's now home to the world's biggest concentrated solar farm, the Ouarzazate complex in the Sahara Desert. The farm is the size of 3,500 football fields and generates enough electricity to power a city twice the size of Marrakesh. Fourth is China, producing 30% electricity from renewables. Despite being the world's largest carbon emitter, China is also a leading country in terms of renewable energy. In 2017, China was the country with the most solar PV and wind capacity installed, also produces more than 70% of the global solar PV module supply. Fifth is Denmark, which gets 67% its electricity from wind and solar power in 2022. They produce the most wind power per capita of any OECD country and are home to Kriegers Flak, Scandinavia's biggest wind farm. Harnessing their strong agricultural sector, bioenergy could supply 2/3 of Denmark's renewable energy. Sixth is Uruguay. A remarkable 98% of its electricity is from renewables. A 20-year effort has resulted in Uruguay generating this energy from renewable sources. The majority of this comes from hydropower, complemented by wind, solar, and biofuels. Uruguay is generating so much renewable energy that they're able to export it to their South American neighbors, Argentina and Brazil. Seventh is Germany, where its renewables provided 49% of power used in Germany in first half of 2022. Germany's new government has set their self-described biggest energy policy reform in decades during their first 100 days in government. The country is on its way to shutting down its remaining 3 nuclear power plants by the end of this year. Eighth is Iceland, where 100% of electricity and house heating needs are met with renewables. A combination of hydropower and geothermal power provide almost 100% of Iceland's electricity needs. In fact, geothermal power heats 9 out of 10 homes. The UN has even suggested their transition could provide a model for other countries to make the switch. Ninth is Scotland. In 2022 produced over 40% of their electricity needs from renewables. Their renewable generation comes from biomass, hydropower, wind and solar PV. In 2011 renewables generated just 37% of national demand. And the best part is, they're showing no sign of slowing. The nation exported a record net 37% of its electricity to England and Northern Ireland during COVID pandemic. 10th is Costa Rica, which has produced a whopping 98% of its electricity from renewable sources for over 7 years in a row. Using a combination of hydro, geothermal, wind, and solar power to get the job done. They were named the second more sustainable country in the world by the World Energy Council.